Hello angels, welcome back to another resin video. I've made a ton of resin preservation so far. It's so ridiculous the amount that I've done. But I got this B grade mold from Etsy. I'll leave the link for the seller down in the description box down below. These white roses, I dried them myself. You can obviously see that I mixed up my resin, pour a little bit of some resin inside the mold already. Dip my rose inside of the resin so that it can soak up some resin so that there will be less bubbles. Less bubbles, as I say. And I was pouring down a little bit more of some resin on top. We're going to let this sit and cure for a full 24 hours. I totally forgot about this and just let it sit for like a week or two. This is probably the third layer of resin. I didn't show you guys this, but yeah. I don't know why I forgot about this project. I totally forgot all about it. It was just sitting around and I passed it when I was like, oh my god, I need to finish this. So I got some insects from Etsy. So I decided to just add one in there as well. So this layer. So everything can just dry together. First I need to cut out the plastic and then remove it. I sprayed it with a little bit of some 99% ibuprofen alcohol, and then this just fell inside of there, but that's fine. All is well. I'm going to be poking at the bubbles to get the bubbles to rise to the top and so that I can pop it. This layer was fine and well, but when it started to dry, that's when it got very, very messy. It totally cracked, and you guys want to see what I mean when I said it cracked. Shame, shame, shame. For shame. What is taking me so long? I don't know. I'm just letting the bubbles rise and pop on their own. But you can see these bubbles are not going anywhere. And obviously, since I already sprayed it with the 99% ibuprofen alcohol, I can't use my lighter to go over the bubbles. Otherwise, that will create a fire. And I don't want to ruin this mold. So, just let it do its own little thing. And the worst part about this is whenever you're doing flowers preservation in resin, whenever the top part of the resin starts to harden, then that's when the bubbles want to start rising up. And obviously, since the resin up top is cured, there's nowhere for the bubble to go, so it just ruins the whole piece. Ugh. So I placed this little insect inside of the resin. I shouldn't have pressed down on it because you can see right around the butt. You can see that there's bubbles that's rising and popping on its own, and it just kept on rising up and popping. And I sprayed it a few times with some 99% ibuprofen alcohol. I still had a little bit of some resin in the container that I mixed up, so I was just trying to get everything inside of the mold. Good and bad idea. That piece of resin was mixed up in there, so it became very, very chunky, and there was a ton of bubbles that were surrounding it. I was like, I won't be able to get all of that bubble out, so I just eventually decided to just remove that piece. And I'm spraying it with some more 99% ibuprofen alcohol. That's why I said I sprayed this so much with the alcohol. Poking at the bubbles for it to go away. This chunky piece has some bubbles around it, so I had to remove that. You can see how sticky everything is. That means that the resin is already starting to harden. That's why it's like that. It's no longer very watery as it was before. Everything's just moving around because the top part of the resin has not begun to harden, but the rest of it has not. So that's where stuff can get very, very messy very quickly. But yeah, we're just going to let this layer sit and cure for a full 24 hours. I don't know if I said that already, but the bubbles are eventually just going to rise and pop on their own. If not, it's just going to cure with everything else. And I can't do nothing about that. Unfortunately. It is what it is. Dun, 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 dun. Oops. Okay, so this is the next day. I mixed up some more resin, and we are going to be filling this bad boy all the way up to the top. You can see that there's some little tiny bubbles in there already. All shall be well. We're going to fill this all the way up to the top, and then we're going to spray it with some 99% ibuprofen alcohol. But we're going to let it sit and stay for a while. Then we're going to spray it after all of the bubbles just form directly into the center. So let's give it some time. Alrighty, the sun is going down. Not really going down. Let's at a different side right now. But let's pop this out of the mold. See how this bad boy looks. Oops. Shimmy. This has this cool shape right here. The side, the other side, you can see the different layers. Another side, and the top. Wait a minute. Maybe this is how it should have been. Oh, you guys can see. All these bees and flies just flying around. That's how this turned out. So many bubbles. Yep, that's it for this video. Bye guys. So much bubbles in this. Okay, guys, I didn't give you guys it up close and personal. You can see the bottom, a ton of bubbles. The sides, air bubbles. I don't know what this piece of color is. That's in there. You can see this layer right here. Add way too much ibuprofen alcohol. Just way too much in there. It's very cloudy. Okay. Keep flipping this around. See a little space in there. The rooms. And this part is just a mess. All these bubbles. And this crack right here. This is why I say it's completely ruined. Look at the amount of bubbles in this bad boy. I like the shape of it though. I want to make something else in there. This is how it's looking. These birds. Alright, that's it guys. This is how it's looking.